Hello everyone, this is Josiah Umezurike. Here's another section on the cloud movement. Today we have a class, but some due to some issues we weren't able to make the class, and I was able to create this video so that everybody could catch up on the class. Like I said before, we're still in need of about 10 ladies or women who are interested in learning the cloud environment, whether it's AWS or Azure or any one of those. But what we provide is a customized education where we bridge the gap between what you need to know in order to be effective in your job. There's a finding that shows that there's a lot of people who are knowledgeable in the sense that they have taken the cloud practitioner or cloud architect or engineer exams. They have taken the cloud architect exam, to be precise, and passed these. But some of the problems in place is that they are lacking the overall experience required in IT, information technology, in order to effectively do their job. However, we are here to bridge that gap. Each one, teach one, as you well know, had been in the forefront of bridging the gap between the mentors and the mentees, and as well as educating, training, and creating the awareness of the skill set that is in the continent. We also provide gainful employment to some of these youths. But in the case of the cloud movement, these are pretty much experts in their various area, but they are cutting over. However, if you're brand new in the cloud space, especially with the managed services provider, we welcome you because there's a lot of demand in these areas. So we are pushing forward to assist everyone. We do not base the classes on your education and so on and so forth. We base it on the the interest and the need, the motivation that you have to be able to change the status quo for yourself. Now, to start this class, I would like to thank Lockdown LLC in support, providing the resources that we need to go on with this pilot program in cloud movement. So, to start off, I would like to take you through some of the stuff that we've learned in the past. And here, I hope that you are looking at the same screen that I'm looking at. And I'll also provide, these are the provisions that we made for those that are already in that class. So we started off with our approach, which we've already taken care of, and we are identifying some issues based on personal experiences on information technology foundation. That's what we call it. So we have the hardware aspect. In the hardware aspect, we talk about the computer primary jobs, information processing, which is computation, and we talk about computers, information movement, and communications. We also talk about how the computer computes digital and analog information. We talk about the mathematics of computing. We talk about hardware and software. So we also delve into human instruction and computer instructions, meaning computer languages. So in overview, we also stressed on the components that are needed on the hardware perspective, the things that you need to have a PC running or a computer running. And now we'll be talking about, we've already talked about software in the sense of what a software is, what the components of software is, as well as operating system, that actually we have software running on operating systems. Moving forward, we delved into all of that and we talked about the security aspect of the whole thing, but we do have security as a subject based on CISSP curriculum. Okay, so we identified the OSs, like I said, and today we'll be talking about programming languages, and we decided to look into Python, C++, and Java. I will not be touching C at this time, but C and C++, they're like twin, like, you know, twin. They're pretty much the same. They are compilable. Java also is compilable, but Python is interpretative, meaning that it doesn't change whatever instruction code that you're giving it to some other things that are saved up in the memory, where it is given an addressing memory address. So it will be the memory address will be called to in the compilation process, then is linked directly so that the computer now will understand the zeros and ones. So in interpretative languages like Python, that doesn't have happen. You don't have the compilation folder and etc. and etc. It just takes the whole instruction all the way back to zeros and ones and directly communicate with processing units in this case, which means that the 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 entrance it makes through from the memory to the processor is ephemeral. It's just not like having been compiled and you have an address given to a particular thing. So that now you can see why Python is very fast. Now moving forward, I'd like to talk about it's just a regular statement. How fast a program runs is based on how the language syntax is designed. Like I just explained, the C or C++, they are languages that you have to compile, meaning that you have to get them into some other class that they operate on, and then from there, the language that the computer understands resides there. While in Python is all the way. So I'd like for you to watch this video. This is a very interesting video that I want you to check out in your spare time. The gentleman talks about interesting things about the different C++ and Python, the difference between the two. He's a young person. I really like the perspective and the young understanding and the mindset. So that's why I recommended that you watch him. Also, there's also another troubling area for those who are trying to get into programming new. It's called linked list. Okay, so that one I also have this video here. You can look it up. And the linked list, you can just go in and type linked list. I'm sure this video will pop up. As a matter of fact, let's just go type this in. At least you get a view of what you should be looking for, the right link that you'll be looking for. In case, okay, it's just gonna pop up right now. So as you can see, this is the link you need to look for. Okay, if I start it out,
we teach web development from beginning to end at App Academy.
Specifically, we teach the students.
Okay, that's that. So let's go back again to the YouTube, the C++ versus Python, and that way you get to see what you should be looking at when you go to look at them. They are very straight to the point and very simple, and I don't think we should waste time on that. So as a matter of fact, he did Python versus Java versus C++. Then you should look into it. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. That's just about that. Now moving back, this is our curriculum pretty much. So there's also another troubling area that students find really hard to understand when it comes to programming. That's data structure. Data structure. I saw this video, and this guy is sponsored by www.brilliant.org, and I really like what they're doing. That's why I posted them here. I forgot this guy's name, but you need to check him out. He got the CS program playlist down pat. So check it out and see what he does. And there's a couple of books that I recommend. There's this book here called Books Python. It's on Python. It's by a guy named Swarup. I knew this guy when he started 10 years ago, right, in this book. As a matter of fact, I learned Python a little bit from him. And then you have the there are other ones, but I don't have the link here. Maybe if I check in the group, I probably will find a link about that one. Let me look here carefully. I see here. All right, this one here is very interesting. You should check this out. It will teach you not just Python, but day-to-day problems you can solve with Python. There's a free book. You need to get this free book. Don't miss this free book. It teaches you a lot of stuff. It's a guy named I forgot his name, but let's scroll down here. Okay. His name is Al. This is automate the boring stuff with Python. Al is interesting. He covered a whole lot of areas in our day-to-day life, things that we do on a regular basis that which we can use Python to accomplish. However, when you get this book, you need to spend a lot more time in it. This program, the cloud program that we have, is not specifically engaging in teaching you computer science or coding in depth. We really gonna breeze through it and just show you the structure of simple programs and run some of them, especially show you how you can run these programs. Assuming you have a job, at least you can run the programs. If you can find the codes, and whether it's Java or C++ and Python, you can run it. You can say, hey, I know how to run it. I can run it this way or that way. So that's just that. So if you want to really get into computer science and all of that, I recommend that you start with all those places that I showed you, and especially this Python book, and look into software development lifecycle, and also search for security software development lifecycle. That will help you, and getting more understanding and get learning more in the area, so that way you'll be well rounded. So moving forward, so I'm gonna go ahead and get up a compilation folder here, so that we can actually compile some code, or probably write some code and compile them and run them and see how well they do. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. So let's I have compiled some code already, so I'm gonna keep it really short because these are for the students, and I would like for them to ask questions, and then we'll take care of that in class. So these are some of the ones that I have compiled, but I'll go ahead and do it again. I have a compilation folder for all these high-level languages that needs compilation. I created it. As you can see, I'm gonna copy it copy it, and I'm gonna go to CMD in Windows, just to let you know I'm doing this on Windows operating system. Okay, it's not Linux, it's not Mac. You can do it in those two as well. But here we go. Don't run this as administrator, because you're gonna be moving back and forth to various directory and so on and so forth. So now I'm gonna change directory. CD is change directory, and we're gonna come in here, and now I'm in that folder, and I can find out where I'm at by doing dir, and it will show me all those classes that I have. I mean, all those all the classes that I set up, like doc.cpp and doc.java. Okay, so doc.java. In doc.java, I gave it a simple instruction. I can show you in your spare time. You can download this IDE editor. I mean, yeah, it's just an editor, and what it does is it makes your life very simple and makes coding easy for you. It's just an editor that organizes you very well. Here I have the import java.util, which is most of the time is just a package, and it's calling the import is calling that java.util, which could be math function, a random number, or whatever. But when you put a star there, it means you can call all the packages there is, and you can close it up with a semicolon, as I did there, and you declare it. You use that's a public class doc there, so it's a doc class. You set up a doc class, and public static void main, that's the implementation of the doc class. And in that doc class for Java, you have to identify the types. You see the string, the array, and the X. This is argument. That's what it stands for. It's called X. So all we want to do is to print line. That means output something on the console by following this statement or instruction system.out.print line and Rottweiler Burks. Okay, so we do Rottweiler Burks. That's what you're gonna do, Rottweiler Burks. So with that being said, let's go back to the CMD and see how we can run this. So to run it, you have to compile first. To compile, you do javac, and then you put the Java, right? You do javac .java, you hit enter. It's gonna compile it. Once you compile it, you then execute it. So after compilation, to execute it, you just do Java, then the name without the Java anymore. So now when you do that, you get Rottweiler barks right there. So going back into the compilation folder, you can see here a class was produced. Let's check it out and see what's in the class. I'm gonna open it up with an editor. I'm gonna open it up with the Notepad editor so you can see for yourself what's going on. So you see, in these kind of languages that require compilation, high-level languages that require compilation, you need to take the source and convert it to a class like this. Only then can a computer understand it. Okay, so with that, we've taken care of Java, and now I've shown you a simple format how the Java syntax is laid out. So usually you have the importation of you have to import this package here for Java, which could be a library for what anything, and then you have to set up a class. So that's how you have to have that class so that computer will understand what's going on. And then you have to have public static void main, which implements whatever that's gonna be in the class. As in this case, is gonna print Rottweiler barks on the console. So the same thing applies to C++ and C, but we're gonna do C++ here. Okay. So now for C++, we go back to CMD. The way to do this is kind of tricky. You have to do G++. You have to do G++, and then you do that 0. I mean not 0, O for output. And then what you want to do is you want to put cpp.exe. This is for compiling it in the Windows environment. cpp.exe. Then you want to do dog, that dog class cpp, and then you want to hit enter. So if it's successful, it will compile it. If it's not successful, then it won't compile it. Hopefully it will compile it, and we see that it did compile it. Okay, it did compile it. So now to run this program, we have to do cpp.exe, and it will run the program. As you can see, the same answer, Rottweiler barks. Now it's very clear that these kind of programs require these kind of software languages require compilation, and the compilation, as you can see, you have for Java we have the class to do that, and for doc.cpp, which is C++, we had the cpp.exe to take care of all of that. Okay, there's more to it, but I encourage you to learn more and understand more as you go on in your journey to understanding how information technology works, so that way you can take all that knowledge in all to where you need to go, which in this case is cloud. We're trying to learn about cloud, but the gap is still there, and we're trying to bridge that gap. Now let's do one for Python. So you see the difference why Python is awesome. So to get to Python, although I didn't show you how to install these programs, but I'm showing you how to run them. To get to Python, all you had to do is type Python and show up. But before you do that, it will be nice to know if you have version 3. In this case, you type that. In this case, we have version 3. So we can go ahead and type Python. When we type Python, you can see it's just like writing a poem or writing a story or prose or anything like that. To type Rottweiler barks, all we had to do is we do print, and we do put a bracket there and put quotation. You can do a single quote or you can do a double quote. So which in this case you say Rottweiler barks, and you use the quotation to closing quotation. Always put semicolon. Sometimes, yeah, if you don't put it, you'll still run it. So as you can see, it says Rottweiler barks. You see how beautiful it is to use Python. It's a high-level language, but at the same time, you don't have to compile it. As you can see, we didn't have it here. None of the Python the code that we just ran was here. It wasn't put in a file first and then compiled in here. So you can see the difference before we executed it. We wrote the print, and it did it right off the bat. If we like, we can. It's very interesting. For instance, if you say that x is equal to 3, okay, and then you say that y is equal to 5, and you close that. So now it's possible that int f will be equal to x plus y. You close that up, you should get an answer. So okay, we didn't get it. Something went wrong. So maybe we should have just done let's just say x plus y. Okay, x plus y. X plus y should give us something. Okay, as you can see, x plus y is equal to 8 and stuff like that. So that's just about that. We're about to wrap up here real quick. This is basically how you can compile C++, Java, and then how not to compile Python, because you don't compile Python. Python, you just write what you need to write, and the computer will understand it. Is that quick? Okay, let's recap. Going back, so we looked at a few things. We looked at the programming languages. We looked at Python, C++, and Java. We didn't learn any installation about them, but we ran them. We ran simple code that prints Rottweiler barks. And we'll have to go take a look at C++ versus Python and versus Java, and we will learn from that young man what they are all about, the differences. Now, linked list, we'll learn from this young man about the linked list, and we also check out the www.brilliant.org. They have interesting stuff if you're uh, trying to understand how writing codes or programming, how it works. And now we also talked about the book, A Bite of Python by this guy, Swarup. You should check it out. And also, I showed you guys another interesting book. Actually, I went to the GitHub repository for that particular book, which is right here. As you can see, the author is Al Swigati. That's his name. So you should check it out, and we should also do more stuff with this particular book. I really like it. So it has real life examples of what you could do with Python. That's just about it, and I'm about to wrap up here. Thank you guys for being a part of the program today. And this is Josiah again from Each One Teach One, but on the program Cloud Movement. This cloud movement is geared towards women who are trying to understand and be a part of the workforce in the cloud space on the IT. But because of lack of the background, we are pushing this so that we can bridge that gap that they have by giving them the years of experience that they need, so that when they have an interview, they will ace it and get the job that they need to get. Thank you guys again. If you want to be a part of it, reach out to me. I have a YouTube channel that you can subscribe to. It's Each One Teach One. Thanks again. It's Josiah. Enjoy your day.